It's a beautiful March morning here in northern Alberta, Canada. Sarah and I are about to enter our boreal forest and collect spruce pitch for making spruce gum. We're going to show you how to collect it and also how to process the spruce pitch, clean it up so you can have beautiful pieces of all natural chewing gum that's incredible for your health, your gums, cleaning your teeth, taking the plaque off, freshening your breath, aiding your digestion, helping to bring more oxygen into your blood, and it has many antimicrobial, antiviral substances and properties. That's absolutely incredible once you start looking into it. A few things that we have is a silk hanky that I like to put over my head so that spruce needles and stuff don't get down my neck. Some leather gloves, little box, you could have like an old milk jug or something that just to collect the sap into, double Ziploc bag to put the sap into after we collect it, and a little screwdriver that we'll use to punch the sap off the tree. Come along with us, hope you enjoy. Beautiful spruce tree. So all you do when you're looking for spruce pitch is you find spruce trees and you look around the spruce trees and you look for sap. Here's a little bit of sap, but nothing much of consequence. You need a lot more than that. So we're gonna keep looking. Here's a little chunk. You see this? That's nice. Try not to get too much bark, and you don't want to dig into the tree because you don't want to wound the tree further, because the sap is produced because the tree has been wounded, and it's basically the blood of the tree, and it goes over the wound and keeps the bugs off because the bugs get stuck in it, and because it's so antiviral, antimicrobial, antifungal, it'll kill anything bad. Very fascinating. These are some nice chunks. Oh, the chunks are the best. So break off the chunks. There's not much on here. Well, you know the lichen, old man's beard, that's also a natural antibiotic. Little pieces like this are perfect for sticking right into your mouth. You just kind of brush it off, stick it right in your mouth. There'll be a bit of bark and maybe a little residue, but you just spit that out. The process of refining that we'll show you later, you actually make beautiful pieces of gum that you can just pop right into your mouth. When you do chew it, it'll shatter in your mouth, but then once your mouth warms it up, then it will get nice and soft. Perfect chewing consistency. Something good to remember with the lighter colored sap is chewing the lighter colored sap results in a chewier gum, which can get more easily stuck in your teeth. You can collect sap that's any age old. The hard clumps like this are older. This is younger sap. You see it's more golden, more yellow or blonde. It's good to have a mixture of the older sap and the younger sap because it results in a more balanced chewing gum. In the 1800s, mid to late, spruce gum was the most chewed gum. It was like the only chewing gum in North America. People have been chewing sap for thousands of years, for especially like oral hygiene and stuff. But you could find spruce gum in almost any store in the United States in the mid to late 1800s. When sap gum was so popular, men would spend their whole winters looking for sap gum. And they would actually wound trees specifically to make them ooze the pitch, and then they would later harvest it. And I believe they were being paid about $1 per pound of spruce pitch, which is a lot in those times. Schoolgirls especially love chewing their gum. Kind of funny. Oh, it's so beautiful in here. So beautiful. Look at that. Just gorgeous. Now those are beautiful. Sarah has the honors. Wow, look at that. You can kind of pop it. Just, yeah. That's a younger piece of sap. Not only has spruce pitch been chewed throughout history for pleasure and its incredible oral hygienic properties, it's also been made into a salve that's been used in traditional medicine to heal chronic wounds, ulcers, and infections. Studies reveal that it contains powerful antibacterial, antimicrobial, antiviral, antiseptic, and antifungal properties that rivals some of our best modern-day treatments in effectiveness. For those who are interested, I've attached a link below to a 2013 Finnish study on spruce pitch salve and its ability to heal chronic ulcers and infections. We have a video demonstrating how I make my own original recipe of spruce pitch salve. I call it Golden Forest salve, and there's a link to it below. I've searched for where one might purchase authentic, old-fashioned spruce gum, and it's extremely rare to find. So I've made little packages of my own all-natural, sugar-free chewing gum made with 100% wild Canadian spruce pitch. It's available for purchase on our website, as is my Golden Forest salve. There's links provided below. So it's about 10 after 11 and we gotta head up for lunch. All that precious sap. The snow isn't too much of a deal because the sap doesn't absorb it. Indians would actually use it to seal their canoes. It's a glue and it hardens like glass. So we're back up at the house and here's the sap that Sarah and I collected. As you can see, the snow is melted and it's kind of damp. I'll let that air out and I'll use the stuff I collected yesterday. So I have this old pot that Mom picked up for me from a secondhand store. I have tin foil on the bottom and then I have some parchment paper. Then what I have is a good secondhand sieve. The sap has to melt and go through, leaving all of the needles and the bark behind. Remember, whatever you use for sap stays for sap. It's kind of like dealing with beeswax. It sticks, whatever you use is going to be basically ruined. So what I'm going to do is just take my sap, put some into my little sieve, and then I'm going to shake it just to get the bits of debris that would fit through the sieve out because I don't want it in my final product. There's quite a bit of bark, but you see that there's still sap on there that will get into the gum, so you can leave it. Shake it, bounce it. You can see that's what's coming through. Lots of that is actually sap, but it's mixed, so it's kind of dirty, and I don't want that. All right, so this is sifted, and now I'm putting it into my pot. What'll happen is the sap on the bark will melt and go through the strainer onto the parchment paper. I put this in our 250 oven in our aga, and I leave it there for a couple hours. So it's been about 4 hours since we put our sap in the 250 oven, and I think it's about done. You can see the sap on the bottom. It's melted right through the sieve, leaving all of the stuff that you don't want to put in your mouth behind. Once it has stopped dripping from the bottom of the sieve, you know it's basically done. There's no more sap left to melt. At that time, you can take all this stuff and put it in your tinder box and use it for starting fires because the sap is also very flammable. Simon really likes to use this when he starts the stove for us in the morning. Now, with this, you want to act very calculated because it cools so quickly, and once it cools, it becomes like glass and so brittle and you can't move it. Take it out. I've used tin foil for this as well, but it tends to rip easier, I think, so hold it right off. But it's gotten pretty brittle. I'll squeeze it into a ball. You see it's already starting to flake off, and it just doesn't make as nice of pieces when it's really breakable like that. So we're going to quickly stick it back in the oven to warm up a bit. It will soften in the oven just at the point where I can work with it so it's not quite so brittle. This is Simon's kindling box.
And fire starter.
It's amazing how long the spruce pitch burns. You can actually make like a lamp. Put it in a little tin can and then light it on fire and it'll burn for a long time. So it's softened. Pull it off and be quick. Stretch it, squeeze it, roll it. It cools so quickly. It's already cooling off, so I'm gonna stick it back in and it'll just make it smoother. Another minute or two. Quickly. There, cut that up. Bale for Beautiful. Alrighty. Now comes another fun part, and it's cutting it into nice pieces. Some large, some small, depending on what you prefer. And you want to do this when it's still soft. And then it cools and it breaks off just beautifully. And that is how you turn this into this. You've got a whole collection of gum. You can chew one piece for about 3 days. Once it falls apart in your mouth or you're too tough to chew, then you just spit it out and get a new piece. When you put it in your mouth, you can let it sit in your mouth and kind of warm up for a little bit, and then chew it or bite it, and it will shatter in your mouth. But keep chewing, it will turn into gum. So, hope you enjoyed.